Hello and welcome to Deliberately Creative. I'm Stephanie and I want to welcome you to this butterfly project. We are doing another Shrink It project. I have a template on my website. The link is down below in the more information box. And we are going to be making this beautiful butterfly. Now this butterfly starts out 8 inches across. It fits on an 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper when you print it out on your printer from the template. So let's get started and I'll show you step by step how to make this pretty butterfly. Let's go. I sat down and started to trace this, and then I realized, you know, I should just show you how to do it. So this is going to be in fast forward. I have one of my templates. This template I printed straight off of my website. And it has the link to my YouTube channel on here, and that this was from April 2018. I've done up a few different templates. I have the butterfly, I have a dragonfly, and I'm working on a few more. So I've got a couple moths and a couple more butterflies. And if you want to see the rest of the butterflies done, let me know. If you want to see the dragonfly, let me know. And if you want moths, let me know. Now, this time I am just using a Sharpie pen, which is a permanent marking pen. It draws just fine on the Shrinky Dinks Frosted Rough and Ready. You could draw on the shiny side with this, or you can draw on the rough side. So anyway, I'm going to put this into fast forward while I'm doing the tracing, because this gets just a little repetitive. All I'm going to do is color everything in black with my black pen. All right, so you can see here that my coloring is not perfect. It did not match every single spot that's on the pattern. And that is what makes this really special. Every single one of these is going to turn out to be unique. So there we go. This is all colored in with the Sharpie pen. You can see what it looks like on this side. Now the coloring doesn't look perfect. It's not solid black. This is approximately 8 inches across, a little bit over 8 inches. This is going to shrink down to about 3.5 inches, which is actually a nice size to make for a wider pendant being hung by 2 chains off of jump rings from these wings. So I want to get this colored in, and I am going to use the Inktense colored pencils to color this in. And this is going to be a fantasy butterfly. This is not a realistic butterfly by any means. This butterfly is actually going to be a bit rainbowy, I think. So I'm going to start off with a nice yellow, and he's actually going to get the yellow sort of colored in down the back and a little bit into the wings. Now this is Inktense. These ink pencils, because that's what they are, they're ink pencils, dry pigment that when you get it wet, it flows like watercolor, but it is not watercolor. And it gives you a beautiful translucent color. I'm going to go to the green next. And I am just scribbling this color in because when I get it wet, it is going to flow around. And fill in, which is really cool. So now I am going to take a blue and this is the sea blue. The green was the apple green and the yellow was the sun yellow. So some of this sea blue, get some of that worked in, and I can leave white spaces. I can just get a little bit scribbled in. I'll use a water brush, which I will have to go and grab. You could use any kind of a wet brush. But I'm just working these colors out in kind of a rainbowy type of order, starting at the yellow, because I'm going to end at the red out here, I think. So now I have a fuchsia. Or do I want, no, actually, I think I want the violet. So I'm going to go violet and just put a little bit of that in here. Again, I'm scribbling. That's the neat thing about these. You can also be kind of scribbly if you're just using regular colored pencils, because again, this plastic is shrinking and your out of the line areas or your little scribbly mistakes, those all end up shrinking. It diminishes your mistakes. It's really quite neat that way. Now I'm going to take the violet. I'm going to put a little bit of that out here. Just going to put in just a bit of this violet, and then I'll go to the red. I'm sorry. There's just going to be a touch of red in here. Let's see. Yeah. And then I'm going to use the, I guess we're going to go chili red. Chili red is a pretty browny red too, though. Well, it's more orangey. We'll see. We'll just do it. I think it's going to be just fine. When it gets all wet, I'm going to get some of that color down into these spots. See, you don't have to be fussy. It's a lot of fun. Okay, so yeah, get those. And a few of these, like that. I like that. So, I do have a white pencil here. So I'm going to go ahead and color in my spots that I left blank with the white. And if I miss some, that's okay. They'll just be translucent spots. This plastic being the sanded kind, it does make anything that you don't color, it does make it go cloudy. It would let light shine through. So when you do things with transparent colors, you can end up with almost a little stained glass piece. And really, these butterflies end up looking very stained glass-like. Okay, so I am going ahead and putting a little bit of this white in some of those other places. So just shifting it over. Look at the colors. That's pretty. So what I have here, this is just a, it's Canvas Cove. I don't know, I just grabbed it. I remember I wasn't really fond of this one because the way the water comes out, it leaks around this barrel, but it'll be fine for this project. I just don't like it for actual watercoloring. But we're just going in and wetting the color and moving it around. And I can wet the yellow and then come back and wet the green and sort of blend them together. So now I can go like this and sort of blend across so we get a nice smooth gradation. Look at that. And there we go. See, we're just blending across. So now I am going to wipe some of that green off and squeeze so it gets a little water and cleans my bristles. I'm going to go into the blue and I'll work the blue back a little bit, but I don't want to work it back and forth because I want to keep the bottom of that blue really blue. So maybe I'll do that. I'll go across, work the bottom of the blue. Just like that. Now I'll go back and wiggle in that in-between stage of the green and blue. There. So that's a little trick so that you can get that nice gradation without losing all of your really pretty blue. And then I'm just wiping this off in the paper towel. And then I'm going back and I'm going to get that purple really saturated here. Look how bright that gets. And then I'll go back and I'll do the same thing and take that edge of the purple up into the blue. Oh, that's so pretty. Oh, that just makes me happy. I love these colors. I love how brilliant they get. So now just take that purple up into the blue. And again, you notice I am not being precious about this. I am just going in and wiggling some water on that brush up in to the color. Okay, so now I'm going to do the fuchsia pink. Just get those spots. See how bright that goes? And I'm not worried about going over the black areas because it's just going to, anything that I take over the black is just going to completely diminish and just go right away. Oh, I like that. That fuchsia looks so pretty with the purple. Okay. Not sure. Oh, good, that was fuchsia there. All right, so now this chili pepper red. I don't know. Oh, well, that's not too bad. But we are going to wet that back edge of it. It's a very orangey red. And it actually mixes with that fuchsia pink pretty nicely. So I'm just going to leave a little margin of not wet red. Get those. So get a little bit of that red wet down at the bottom edge, and then I will work the pink and the red together. There. I don't want to overtake the pink completely. I just want to bring it up into it just slightly. Just like that. Wow. Okay. Hey, if you like this, please click that like button and subscribe to the channel. Make sure to share this video with your friends. Oh, don't forget to click the bell and make sure that you've got notifications turned on. There's several levels of notifications apparently, and YouTube has not been doing, they're working on making it more understandable, I think is what they're saying. But right now, a lot of people don't know that if you turn off notifications for one channel, you can end up turning off all of your notifications for all of your channels, which that's not so fun. If all you're trying to do is not have as many notifications. Okay, I'm going to flip this over. Look at that. Oh, that's pretty. So what I'm going to do now, even though that paint is a little bit wet, I can carefully just trim out around the butterfly. Now, when I get into some of those tighter corners, I go out and come back and cut back to it. So that way, I'm not breaking the plastic. This can be a little bit brittle. If I turned around right there, I could end up breaking his neck. We don't want to do that. We don't want to break his little neck off or break his little head. And never go all the way to the tip and do any snipping, because if you snip, this plastic likes to continue going. It likes to continue cutting along the edge. So whatever spot that you snipped at, it would continue to snip across. Now I'm going to work up into the middle between the petals, the wings, and below, so it's not so tight, I'm going to go across a little bit. And I'm kind of making an easier way to lift up and not, there we go. I wanted to make a little bit of a gap in here. Let's see. See how I cut that little bit of a gap? It'll become more apparent in a moment when I go back up to cut out that little sliver between the wings. I like butterflies like this, that their wings really don't have as many wiggly bits in and out. So it makes it so you have a more successful cutout. Look at that. You need to punch your holes before you shrink this plastic. And now I'm going to punch my holes. I want to suspend this butterfly on 2 jump rings from the wings. And I will probably be giving it a little bit of a bend at the body, but not a lot. I'm just probably going to give it just a tiny bit of bend, even though butterfly wings don't tend to bend in the middle and you know, like flap like a bird. I may end up giving it a little bit of a bend like a bird wing, just so that we have some dimension when it's after it's all shrunk. So let's go. All right, so now we have this. I just have a piece of cardboard covered with foil and the butterfly. I'm going to go ahead and put a wooden skewer. This is just a shish kebab skewer. I'm going to lay it across to hold this to keep it from blowing around. I'm using the heated craft tool to heat it up and shrink it. And after it's all shrunk, we'll do a slight bend and it will be done. You actually saw it with the chain on at the beginning when I introduced this project, so you know how it turned out. But I'm going to go ahead and start shrinking, and it's going to go to music for now. Okay, so before I do that all the way, because it hasn't shrunk yet, I talked about putting the holes in. I didn't get them punched, did I? Lucky. You guys were all going, hold it, you didn't punch the wings. I heard you. Thank you very much for yelling at me. I appreciate that. How's that? Look at that pretty butterfly. Almost looks iridescent, doesn't it? And then that's the shiny side. And that's the side that I would wear towards the skin. And then the other side, the side that I actually did the coloring on, is more matte. And I would wear that side facing out, away from the skin. So fun, really quite quick and easy. If you like this video, please click that like button, subscribe to the channel, make sure you've clicked the bell, and turn the notifications on for this channel. And, as always, go out, do something creative, take care of yourself so you can take care of those around you. And I hope to see you back here again really soon. Bye-bye.